Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
And today we're going to talk about some Supercharger stats with our friend Mr. Supercharger. But first, Mr. Supercharger is going to roll the credit of the title card. Go right ahead.
Yeah, MrSupercharger.com approved.
You're watching the Tesla Life Ludicrous.
Yeah.
There's always a surprise in the opening credits.
Yeah. Gotta mix it up.
Yeah. I like
today we want to talk a little bit about some stats that Tesla released about Q3 2025 and how it relates to, of course, superchargers. And we've got our own Mr. Supercharger that is going to spill some of these beans. Go ahead, Casey. Take her away.
Yeah, we've got a list of stats here that are really awesome to me. You got 4,000 new supercharger stalls opened, which is up 18% year over year. So Q3 year over year, Q3, which is awesome. They delivered 1.8 terawatt hours of energy to vehicles, which is up 29% year over year. And you get a lot of folks saying, "Oh well, blah blah blah, poo poo, grid, all this and that." But in a previous article, I wrote about how Tesla offsets over 100% of their charging with their energy initiatives. So that means that if they keep it at the same rate that they were doing, that's phenomenal. That means that much more clean energy was pumped into the grid than what these cars used. 842 million liters of gasoline equivalent, or 2 billion kilograms of CO2 were offset, which 54 million quarterly charging sessions, which is up 31% year over year. Which is great because it sounds like it's tracking the fleet now.
That's almost 1 billion liters of gasoline saved. Like, that's an incredible number.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's uncomprehendable, really. You get into those type of numbers, it's like, how many, how much weight, how many tanker trucks does it take to deliver 1 billion liters of gasoline? Like,
quite a few of them.
Phenomenal number. Yeah, more than 3 would be my guess. More than 3. But,
and they all use diesel, so you're saving more gasoline equivalent by not using the trucks at all.
Exactly.
And Tesla didn't do the circular compounding interest there on their calculations, so it's even more impressive. And the other thing that happened was they finally launched the V4 native superchargers. Tesla calls them V4 cabinet superchargers because they'd already jumped the gun and called what they were calling the long cable superchargers, which were the V3 pluses. They were calling them V4s, so they ran out of names for when V4 actually hit. So what the V4 native is you've got 8 stalls at up to 500 kilowatts per vehicle, 1 megawatt to 1.2 megawatts input per site, because of the same cabinet they use to charge the Tesla Semi. And that's exciting because there were at least 2 sites that opened up with that, and folks were able to charge their Cybertrucks at 500 kilowatts or like 430, 450. The problem with that one was neither of them was on the map by the time that people were using them, so you couldn't do any of the navigate to supercharger tricks that would allow the car to accept maximum charge rate when it gets there.
What were some of those tricks, Casey? What was the trick?
So it'll heat up the battery or cool it down depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Usually it's heat up unless you're on the track. It'll get all of the systems ready to just accept maximum charge, and that's really what you want, because what you're typically doing with these is you're navigating to somewhere. So if I am wherever I am and I say let's go to someplace in California or someplace in Florida, tourist attractions, without upsetting anybody, I don't have enough energy to get there. But since I will need a charge, but I don't need a charge now, what will happen is as the car is tracking us going, it's watching traffic, it's watching the distance to get there, it's watching the weather conditions. And then as we hit just a little bit on this side of that threshold, and we have enough space in the battery, it will start to get the temperature there. It'll start to get all the systems ready, get the pumps flowing, so that we can accept maximum charge when we get there, take a short charge, and then hit the road and keep on going to our destination or to our next charger. In my case, it's always to another charger. I don't often go on a one charge trip, and and that's not something that the car used to do. It's something that they added after the three of us. Well, after me and Patrick got our cars, for sure. But I think even after Mark, you got your car, they improved it for sure. I don't know if they. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been long. It's 7.5 years for me.
Yes, and they've been improving it as we go on. Like as they got the cars with the heat pumps, and they've learned stuff like the LFP packs. They're part of their charging operation for the pre-charge, and is they'll if you don't give them enough time to get there to warm up and they're stone cold, what they'll do is they'll I forget the name of it now, but they will AC charge over the DC charge the battery, and so that AC ripple current will, the battery's not expecting it, it doesn't want it, it'll heat up, but that's heating that's happening without having to wait on the car's onboard heating equipment, and they've built the pack and they built the charger, so they understand how to do this without causing damage, and that extra
extra heat allows it to charge faster.
Yes, and not just charge faster, but heat up to the target faster. So again, you can be on your way faster and without wasting as much energy, both from on your battery and from the grid. Again, billions of kilograms of CO2 saved. So this is.
Do you remember in the early days when the Model 3 was released that there were some out there that would bring a damp cloth to wrap around the handle of the charger at a supercharger? That was
and Tesla said, "Do not do that. You could be fooling the sensors, and that could cause problems. So stop it."
So people looking for that maximum chargeability were going that distance that they would even bring a damp cloth to wrap around the charger.
And this was only really useful.
The car.
This was only really useful on the Gen 2 and Gen 1 stations. There shouldn't be any Gen 1s hanging around, but there are still some Gen 2s. But again, Tesla said don't do it. If they catch you doing it, they haven't said what they'll do, but they haven't threatened us either. But
it wouldn't be good.
but don't let Tesla catch you doing it. They said the reasons, so it's good. Go ahead.
I tried to get an answer to your question, and this is real-time math, so it could be wrong. So don't take this to heart. But with that many liters, if you look at the large tanker trucks can hold 11,600 gallons. So I had to do some conversions, and that represents over 19,000 of those maximum size tanker trucks.
Wow.
And that is just for supercharging, right? And maybe some destination charging, but that doesn't include any of the home charging, which for me is almost all of my charging.
Right.
So that's pretty impressive.
They do include that on their impact statement.
Right.
Randomly. I don't think they do it every year. But that one they'll tell you what they did for home charging as well, but they call it out.
Right. This update was just for supercharging.
I gotta believe that in the Tesla fleet, that home charging far outweighs supercharging.
Even from
that's a lot of CO2 that doesn't get released.
Although barely from Supercharger.com. And then the final stat they gave us was the Tesla Diner opened about 70 days ago, and at about roughly 715 burgers per day, they sold 50,000 Tesla burgers, 100% tastiness. And I'm hoping they also offset the carbon of the cows.
That was my favorite part of that.
At all, are they?
Plus 100% tastiness.
I mean, it's up from 0% tastiness, so yeah.
Exactly. So Tesla, the restaurateur, is making a name for themselves. I did have a report from somebody that visited the diner recently near a lunch hour, and they said, of course, the huge lines had disappeared. So there were a lot more normal amount of people there for lunch. So it sounds like things are starting to get a little bit more of a normal rhythm at the diner in West Hollywood. So if you're thinking of going or visiting that particular location, I think you're in for a pleasant surprise that there won't be a lineup around the block.
That's good. I noticed during the I don't know how they would call it. They're begging us to vote for the shareholders. They had Optimus do do the narration for the video, and I know that the diner is supposed to be a modern take on the '50s theme. I couldn't help think sci-fi space flick. It looked like you were getting on the movie space stations as the black clad Optimus led you into the diner, and then was ready to take the order. I was like, wow, that looks just like all of the sci-fi movies from when I was a kid, but like modern, like kind of a cross between Star Trek Enterprise, the the what do they call the prequel, and then all of the future stuff that you'd see today. So I was like, this is
Yeah, the
that's a good
retro
feel to it.
futuristic combo is interesting.
Well, not just retro futuristic, but also just it also just felt like a space station because there's a futuristic, and there was like once that portal opened and you walked through the door, and like this feels spacey. I'm wondering if that will inform at all any of their future efforts with the SpaceX programs, especially as they get Starship going.
Yeah.
Cool.
What was great to see in this report was, in my case, was the 4,000 new supercharger stalls
Yes.
opened in the third quarter. So
especially how we started the year with them.
exactly. So we've had a nice bump every quarter, and adding 4,000 in Q3 just kind of tells us that Tesla's commitment to the supercharger network is still going quite strong. So
Yes, and that's no small feat.
Adding those number of chargers to the network is a plus for all of us. It's something that we can all benefit from. We know that they're pushing more and more cars into the public's hands, and they really can't get into a situation where they're laxadavid about these things actually expanding. Because if you expand the base of cars, we all know that everybody's not charging all the time, but still, if you do not expand the network with the number of cars that are being sold to the public, then we're all in for some trouble. So this is great to see that the numbers still continue to grow.
Yeah, especially when you compare to their competition. And I'm not saying the ones that we would bag on all the time. I'm saying the ones that are actively trying to plus themselves up now. Like, hey, this is our new network, and we did 300 stations this quarter. Boom, 4,000.
Yeah. Right.
And what I was alluding to earlier, it's been a long year, so you might not remember. We started this out with the firing of nearly the entire supercharger fleet, and at that point in time,
was that this year?
It was within a year, if it not this year. We were all wondering, like, hey, what's the future of supercharging look like? Are they going to spin it off, or what about those of us who are already on it? How are they going to maintain it? Because you just let go of almost the whole team, and the team that remained and the team that was rehired, they have done so much good work this year, and their communication is so much more open, and we know. I mean, they still, I don't say they're being secretive, but they're just nose down busy. When they do have the chance to talk to us, we learn things about the long cable superchargers. All the superchargers in Germany are now long cable superchargers, which means they have the V4 interface, or they just put a long cable on a V3, regular V3, and so V3 Plus or V3 with a long cable. I don't think there are that many of those. You typically see something like that at a service center. But to know that, hey, Germany's done. And like some of these companies are talking about, oh, we're going to have the turnpike done in 2 years.
Yeah, Tesla's on a different scale when it comes to the supercharger network, and that's really good for us and for other EVs now that they've been introduced and allow other EV companies to charge at their existing
and not just that, but they also
4s and 3s.
They also sell superchargers. So if you have a company or your company's contracting, they can get the best, the cheapest, the best, the easiest to maintain, right there. You don't have to settle for second best at 8 times the price. You just use what you know works.
Exactly.
And even better, if that's not your business, you just want to sell chips or burgers or whatever, you can let Tesla do it all, and then they'll just take their cut out of the fees coming your way.
Yeah, this is really great to see that. I mean, this is one of the reasons that a Tesla is the vehicle that I own because they have this charging network. I know that I can drive anywhere there are roads, and I'll be able to find some place to charge in that works, and it has more than one stall and isn't blocked by somebody who's been there for 8 hours. Yeah, this is really nice to see. And like you said, Mark, if Tesla is going to allow other vehicles to start charging, they have to continue to grow faster than they're selling cars.
Yeah, and again, not just them anymore, because now they've got partners faster than everybody is selling cars. Everybody except VinFast until they join up. Keep bagging on them until they join up.
So it will be interesting that if next quarter shows up as the amounts are published again, it'll be interesting to see if does the 4,000 number hold up? Does it grow? Is it something that Tesla, I would say that certainly by the end of the year, we will get yearly numbers, and it'll be interesting to see how that 4,000 holds up over other quarters.
It's also going to be interesting to compare the cars to the superchargers, because we had an artificial event, a bump in the purchasing and the deadlines. So I'm curious how that affects the charging stations, because they didn't. Well, actually, they did too, and still do, depending on how the paperwork was done. Ooh,
yeah.
It might be next year before we get a number that's not affected by the end of the credits, because the equipment operators, they had their own thing, from solar installs, battery installs, charging station installs, and they also had the September 30th cutoff, but it worked differently because the people pulling the plug understood that construction works a little differently than anything else that they were trying to retaliate on. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
So that'll be fun to see that as we get closer to the end of the year, and see if we can get some numbers on year over year progress. But again, Q3 was a bright light when it comes to supercharger deployment, and glad to see that is still continuing.
And we'll be covering that later this month. I think the third week of this month. Basically, we'll be on live a couple of hours after the call starts, and I phrase it that way because there have been many a times when we'd start the show, because Patrick is back listening to them with the mop-up questions, because they're usually done by the time we come on, but sometimes there's just still more to talk about, and that's cool stuff.
With that said, let's roll to some shout-outs, and we'll start with you, Casey. What do you got for us?
So that's another good reason to turn the bell on for us, because you never know what we're going to have for you, and so we're going to be right there in the room where it happens with that shareholder call. But before then, we've got our regular live show and more of these express shows. So catch us right here, same time, same place. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to do the playing with the clocks that so many countries and locales do at the end of this month.
Boo.
I agree, boo.
The only plus is that we gain an hour of sleep this time.
That part, yeah. That part. So there is the possibility, because if the lawmakers are back, there was a push last time around to get rid of this mess. So maybe they'll have an appetite to do that again now that it's topical. I hope so.
I will bet you one loony that will not happen this year.
You're going to win that bet. So anyway, so catch us, check the bell, catch us live, catch us on these express shows and any specials that come up. Look forward to seeing you there.
Very good. Don't forget to press the thumbs up on the video. Press the subscribe. Helps us out. Patrick, what do you got for shoutouts?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels. Thanks.
Very good. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll get together next time, and we will find out what is happening in the Tesla life.